Hello and welcome back to another edition of Indiepocalypse Radio. Bringing it back for I was going to say for the last show for a long break, but the second to last show, the penultimate show. Yes, I've yet to really think about what the word is for second most season, but I certainly know penultimate. The penultimate episode before I take a break of doing 3 events in a row. This is, of course, Indiepocalypse Radio, your interview, talk show, mostly hangout, con-style radio show that comes to you generally every Saturday. I'm Andrew, the host of that aforementioned radio show, and all those whatever kind of superlatives, etc. you want to talk onto Indiepocalypse, the monthly anthology of indie games, of which a new one just came out this last Friday, just yesterday. But we are here with guests who are not from that last one. There'd be a very quick turnaround if I had planned ahead for that, but I did not. Instead, we have guests from prior issues of Indiepocalypse, of course. And our first one from issue, let me pull, I think it's 66. 66. Oh, yes. Okay. I flipped the two of you. You were from 6. You were just in there. You're brand new. The shine is just worn off of your issue. It is now in the back view. But from issue 66 of Indiepocalypse with Nibbling Cheese, it's Ali. Ali, how are you doing today?
Hi, doing great. How about you?
Now, the one of the important good. One of the important questions of things that I get right before I did it. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, that is
you're
short, but two regularly accepted pronunciations.
Yeah, it's all good.
Perfect. So, important question. Straight out of the gate. I gotta know the question. I gotta ask people whom submit games to Indiepocalypse. Hey, how did you find Indiepocalypse?
I had a friend, I think, who got previously selected for one of Indiepocalypse.
Okay.
Cultisti, maybe.
Yes.
You remember them? Yeah,
I do.
We are. We studied in the same university.
Okay.
Different degrees, but kind of related. And
yes, you are similarly very prolific.
Yeah, and they recommended me. Like they sent a link and were like, "Hey, maybe you would enjoy this," and that's how I found out.
A good recommendation. I just recent.
I agree.
Just recently, I say just recently, but it's probably like 6 months ago. But I had done a kind of collection, not a collection, a collection. Like I do like a monthly tape club as well, and of like individual games. And Cultisti, like I made they had made like the little puzzle cauldron collection of like, I always forget if it was 5 or 6 off the top of my head, but yes, very close to memory is the long about way to saying that. And also great to hear people, coming in through other people's like, hey, I recommend this. You should check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Came good recommendation. So if people are unfamiliar, the game Nibbling Cheese. How would you describe it?
I don't know how to exactly describe it, but a comment I got, which I have adopted as a description,
yes,
is a first-person exploration game where you are an old rat in an enrichment enclosure, just roaming around.
Yes,
I think that is a pretty good description of what happens in the game.
Right, you do what it says on the tin. You nibble cheese,
Yeah, exactly. It's not a lot more than that right now, but yeah.
But it also in a lot of ways doesn't need to be. It's just like there is. The thing I like about the importance I find in making Indiepocalypse is little things like this, sometimes you go like, well, what do you do with them? Besides just like publish them on itch, you know.
Yeah.
There, little things like this might work in terms of like if you transport it to other mediums, you know, this is like a single or like a zine or you know, other mediums have adapted to very like short form creations, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's also like I think not every game needs to have 20 like hours of content in
No.
it. Sometimes like not every game is made for like others' enjoyment is not the right way to put it, but like the main purpose is for the enjoyment of the process for the creator.
Right.
And I think in Nibbling Jesus is definitely one of those games.
Right, and then you know other people will play it. Other people also, I think, you know, can often feel that like enjoyment of the process. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what draws people to these sorts of games of like, oh, and also it's nice to not have to be like, okay, I want to play a game. I don't have to set aside 20 hours to do it.
Yeah.
I can set aside 20 seconds or a few minutes and still find, enjoyment in it. Like how long something is kind of has very little to do with like how good it is.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to explore these like kind of weird ideas you have, because then also in the terms of creation too, don't have to commit 6 months of your life
Right.
into it. It's like a just little experiment and see how it goes.
Like imagine if you were like, okay, well, in order to make this, I have to like, it has to be a game that I sell, and it has to like, make. So you have to do your, you have to do your marketing strategy. You have to, okay, well,
100%.
I mean, you have to like, oh, I got to make sure I have my TikToks every day, where I'm And the thing is, the curse thing is like I can think of what the versions of it are, or like, oh yeah, like imagine how much cheese-based content you would have had to make.
I mean, I would have loved it, but more than that, I think I've been purposefully avoiding trying to make commercial things in a way.
Yeah.
Because every single time I tried, it just sucked all the enjoyment out of it.
Right.
Like, it is not fun anymore for me to stop and think, will other people enjoy this? Or more than that, like, will people pay for this? Because that is a immense weight on my shoulders, I feel.
Yeah.
If I ask money for something I make.
Yes, Ali, that is the genesis of Indiepocalypse, of me me feeling that and going, oh, this sucks. I'm like as I was like getting good at making games, I was like getting more comfortable with it. I was like, okay, well, I would just basically give up things constantly because I'm like, how do I make this to be like 8 hours long? I don't want to do this. This sucks.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to work retail. This also sucks.
Well, what I'm currently doing is I work a mobile game development job.
Yeah.
Like by day, I'm a game designer at a mobile game company, and by night I do shitty games.
Yes. I did not have the skill set. I had kind of a very hobbyist skill set, which means, you can make your own games, but no one's going to hire you to make games.
Yeah.
Then I was like, well, that's how I found up this thing. Like, what if I tried to make something so that people got paid? And I still haven't figured it out 5 years later.
Yeah, but I think Indiepocalypse is a step definitely in the right direction.
Yes.
Especially in this ocean of content. I think like curation or visibility is
right.
in my opinion, like the biggest hurdle, trying to get people to see your game in the first place.
Yes, right.
And I think Indiepocalypse is solving that problem quite well.
Thank you. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to like Indiepocalypse is the I hope is the equivalent of like me, like when I go to like a like a local zine fest or indie comic show and I buy a bunch of stuff and I go into your house and I just dump my bag on the table and I go, hey, you should read these. That's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I
It's like that, I think.
that is my equivalent of it, of being like, oh hey, what if like people checked out weird stuff, this is the weird stuff that I like, and
Yeah.
Hey, it's worth a look, because there aren't like, I mean, people sneak into like indie, like zine fest and stuff like that, but there aren't like so far as I know, like in the US there aren't like the equivalent of like those kind of indie art shows where a bunch of people are going to go to see people they don't know, a lot of people they don't know, and they want to buy stuff that is original creations.
Yeah. I think especially like the buying part,
Yes.
that's the difficult part. Like in a lot of conventions, at least here in Finland, there are like a indie corner or something like that where they just dump a bunch of tables in some random desolate, decrepit corner
Right.
of the convention, and then really cool indie people are showing off or trying to show off their games there. But it's definitely not the main focus, and you're not trying to, make a living using your craft and your work.
Right, because it's even if you tried, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Because like there's simply like not enough shows. Like you need like a certain volume of shows in like a year, plus like expect a certain amount of sales at a show per year, and then probably like freelance stuff to fill the gap in the meantime. And game dev has like maybe some freelance stuff, but that's kind of it.
Exactly.
And it's also very like company freelance. Like very rarely are people like commissioning independent developers to like make stuff generally.
Yeah, and I think it's quite fractured everywhere. That's
Right.
It's hard to like quantify if it happens or like where it happens.
Right. Especially like or especially like on a short term basis, it's kind of like, okay, well, I got a contract job at a company is probably what happens a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
More so than, oh, I got a quick, someone's gonna commission me to make some, in the way someone might get commissioned to like make music. I want you to make some music for this. You're not hired as to do music. You were just like, oh, can you make music for this? You go, I made some music.
Yeah, I think the commissioning scene in game development is from what I have seen more so like between friends or
Right.
very like close circles in Discord servers and stuff, and
Right.
that's more like a common thing to do, as how you would commission like your D&D character to be drawn by an artist.
Right. I mean, there's a theoretical time commitment, but you look on the page of Nibbling Cheese, 5 hours, which is probably some people who are real intensive. That's probably how long they spend to make an illustration.
I mean, I think Nibbling Cheese is not a very high quality
product.
But
I think. Yeah. Quality. What does quality mean? I'm a fan of it. I like it. I think a lot can be done in a few hours in game, especially if you're the more you work at it and the more you have like tools already in place. Sometimes like you got your tools in place, you have art assets, you snag a couple off of some free asset place, you smash it all together. It becomes quicker to just like start to make games.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good way to enter this flow state, because I think that 5 hours was in one sitting.
Right.
Like if I don't even think about what others are going to think, and I have all the textures in a texture folder, and I can just do as I feel, shut off my brain, like no judgment on my end. It's just complete enter flow state.
Right.
Because there's 6 hours left until the jam ends, or like 5 hours left, and I want to do something, so it just comes out in the end.
Yeah, and I think there's, I feel like it's probably waned more with time, but there's definitely, I think, that I feel that some people have about, oh, you got to make everything, or there's the asset store flip derision of like, you should flip tons of stuff. Why make something if somebody already made it?
Yeah, I think it again kind of comes to the sort of idea of some games being made for the fun, like of making it.
Right.
So I can understand both sides of the argument of some people wanting to just use pre-made textures like me in here, or assets to speed up the process because the goal is to make the game, like get to the end product. And sometimes it's just you enjoy being in control of every aspect of your craft.
Right. But it, it's like you said, it should be a kind of like not a qualitative thing. It's more.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's just kind of like a preference, right? At what the classic of at what point have you made a game from scratch?
Yeah. Also, that's like unless you mined the lithium for your batteries and then like started soldering on your computer and everything, like
right.
That argument can I think go really deep.
Right. It's the classic. You got to make the universe first.
Yeah, and I mean, if it gets to what you want to do faster, then I think that's great, and you should use it.
Right. Like it's kind of like the what do you get enjoyment out of it all?
Yeah.
But there is.
Yeah.
But it makes me think about the machine learning of it all, and I realized I saw a piece of machine learning art recently, and I had I finally the realization like what turns me off about it is like it feels like it lacks any intention.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking about this with a coworker earlier this week that I think what lacks in this sort of like generative AI art things is that a person when they draw something or make something, they consciously or unconsciously carry pieces of their experiences into that piece. So they draw from their own experience of their own upbringing,
right,
and their own environment and their own culture and everything. So it inevitably affects the end product. But with AI, it's kind of like the creator experiencing everything. So there's like the weights are off in a way that it's all noise.
Right.
Like there are no peaks in that signal.
Yeah.
Like no highs or no lows. It's just like a amalgamation, like a processed meat product of something.
Right, because even people who have like are working in a familiar like art style still have like their little quirks of how they do things like within that style.
Mm-hmm.
I love you can see some people have pulled out like character like different like I forget. I'm trying to think of what you would call them, but like image boards of like animated characters, which are ostensibly by the nature of animation supposed to look the same across different artists, but have like these different little quirks depending on like who is maybe the lead animator or the director for that episode.
Yeah.
And like people cannot we are not machines and we cannot perfectly replicate things. We're just gonna have our little like eccentricities within everything, and that's the thing that I realize that they lack is it's all like it's weird how it's like there's like technical skill, but like you don't like it just doesn't like computers can't tell stories. I guess part of that, if that makes sense.
Well, there's no I think decision making
right
or intention involved, as you said.
So it ends up feeling like if you look at it for too long, like for a couple extra seconds, you go, wait a minute, like why is it like that? Like what is it intending to convey? And you're like, oh, nothing, because it can't convey things.
Yeah, like something I saw was that like if you look at a picture from any time period from anywhere, if you just look at the background, you can pick up so many details from it, like from signs or just like plants, or just there is information in there, and it
Right.
is meaningful information that gives a sense of like time and space.
Right.
And with these like processed meat products,
Yeah.
like generated things, there is no time or space because it is everything from whatever they could find
Right.
mushed together into an average thing.
Right. Right.
And I think that is pretty sad that there are so much things on the internet that do not give that information about where they are and when they are.
Right, and it's like you said about making smaller projects. That sometimes the joy of art is the making of it, and all the generous stuff is just like the feeling of just wanting to have made something.
Yeah, it's. I don't fully understand it,
Right.
but I haven't really like sat down and talked with someone who is more passionate about it, I guess.
Yes.
So
Right.
I would like to hear what's their takes on it, or like what's their
Right.
reasoning for it.
Like I get I assume a lot of, well, some of it I'm sure is just like, oh look, I can press a button and I make myself look like kind of like a loose approximation of what a Studio Ghibli art style is or whatever.
Yeah.
That like when you probably put them side by side doesn't quite hold up. It's like, oh, I get it, but it's like also, I mean, to get very particular, a lot of their style is like inherently about the motion, not about stills. Like,
Well, it's, I guess on a glance it looks
Yeah.
pretty, and then it's like,
Yes.
aha, I can do it. Lol,
Right,
let
right.
me upload my picture onto giant database.
yes, someone's like, oh, I wish I get this feeling. I understand the impulse. Like, oh, I wish I could draw. I want to make a funny picture for my friends, and I know what it would be, but I couldn't draw it. And then you, like, I'll have a.
That's a lie. You can.
Yes, right. The thing is that you
This is
can.
the biggest lie of our current system.
Yes.
You have to be like this
Right.
level 5 artist to be allowed to do stuff.
Right. Right.
No, just go draw, and I think it's 100 times more personal to receive a hand drawn, but really badly hand drawn.
Yes.
Like Ghibli portrait thing for your birthday compared to like someone printing out. I made this slightly yellow
Yes.
portrait for you.
It's all friggin'. It's funny because so much of it is like, it is unchanged from, to show my age. So I encourage people to look up Jib Jab. It's all fucking Jib Jab still. It's mountains of computational power to recreate fucking Jib Jab, which was like, you would like, I don't know, upload a photo of someone's head, and then it would like
I'm Googling it right now.
it would like paste it, like it would be a lot of stuff that.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
Okay, I knew this. My friend had this on their iPad, I think.
I think it was just like, oh, like there's these fun little dancing people, and you just get it by putting
Awesome birthday.
Right. A lot of them would just be like, static bodies, and then it would plug in a head, and then the bodies would do things, and like, oh, look, my friend's head are on these things.
Yeah.
And it's functionally like the same thing, but it's done by mining a bunch of artists' work, and I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten into that part.
Yes. But
yeah.
tech is the true future, of course. But
I'm very much looking forward to it.
But
See
anyhow,
what's gonna happen.
and games are weird because games feel less resistant to it than like other mediums, which seem to hate it with all their being.
Yeah.
You would see at artist alleys that are like pretty much every artist alley I've seen at any convention is like no AI art, none allowed. And then I think I've gone to a couple conventions where there's a game that's like the first AI video game, something bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Allie, I've got a couple questions for you.
Yes.
These are the stock standard Indiepocalypse radio questions. I hope you're prepared.
I am not, but tell me.
Good. That such is the curse of the first guest.
Yep.
What's your favorite type of rock?
Psychedelic or Anatolian rock.
Okay.
I am a bit biased because I did grow up in Turkey. But yeah, I think I like that Anatolian, sort of like Near Eastern, like Middle Eastern, sort of meshed, like that sort of melodies and histories meshed with more modern, like rock instruments.
No, you're in good company here. Similar to a lot of that stuff. I love. Anyway, I'm gonna get too many tangents of. I wonder if they have I wonder if there's a Weedian of Trip to Turkey or something, because they have a lot. Are you familiar with Weedian?
What, sorry?
Are you familiar with Weedian?
Weedian, I am not sure.
So it's like a publisher, like a label sort of, like a record label sort of, and they put out a bunch of like regular like stoner metal. Stoner rock is like their baseline, I think, but basically that covers a lot of stuff like doom metal and psychedelic, but they also do a lot of stuff that called like Trip to etc. Like Trip to Mexico.
Yeah, I found their Instagram now.
Yeah, and it'll be like, oh, here's a bunch of like Mexican like doom, post rock, stoner metal, whatever, etc. sorts of bands.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I find you can find some cool stuff through there. Highly recommend.
I'm definitely gonna check it out after the show.
There are a lot of.
Yeah, there is quite a lot to go through here, which is good.
Yes, they put out a lot of them, but it's also like it activates my two parts of my brain, which is like long droning music, and hey, look, there are people that are not in the United States that make art.
Yeah, in our U.S. cultural dominated world, so it's always good to find.
It is very cool to see, like, hey, look, and they do like giant albums, so it'll be like, here are like 80 songs, by single bands. So if you want to, like what's going on in Argentina, so you can check out, like, here's 17.
This is really cool.
Here's 17 Argentinian. Anyway, I'm getting doing the weeds. I should about Weedian because I like it. But honestly, I should probably just fucking subscribe, given that it's like only $4.20 a month.
That is nice.
Yes, there. Oh no, here's another trip to Argentina that has 51 tracks, which is the usual sort of thing, and they're all like name your price, Because I imagine, I don't know how you split all this money all this way for it's just like production costs. But I've definitely bought stuff because I'm like, oh, this is sick, Anyhow,
this looks really cool.
Second question.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite Toho character?
I don't know what that is.
Perfect.
Enlighten me first.
Toho is a long-running doujin series started back in 97 on the PC 98, which was a block breaker. It is since primarily all bullet hells, but it has a very like open, free-wheeling kind of license where within like very minor rules, no adult stuff, no original characters, probably another that I can't think of off the top of my head. Anyone else can just make a Toho game. Using,
That is pretty sick, but I have not heard of them, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. I part of the question is to be like, hey, have you heard of this thing? And
I haven't.
And then
now I need to look into it.
It's a thing for people to check out. Anyway, Ali, thank you for joining me here today.
Yeah, thank you for making Indiepocalypse a thing.
Hey, thank you for making games. The game, it doesn't work without the games.
Well,
I mean,
you're welcome.
it is in theory just a cool. It could just be like a cool piece of art that comes out every month, but that's a different thing. I don't know. I don't know if that's sustainable. Just making a cool piece of art every month. We're gonna go on break. We'll be back in about 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Until then, see you later.
Bye bye.
The devil's in the details. The details lie within. The lines are dead as doornails. The door is nailed and
That. Hello and welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. That was Hexray with details, and we have here from issue 65 of Indiepocalypse. Hey, it's Hexray. Hello.
Hello. Wow, what a coincidence.
I know. It's almost like it was pre-planned by me.
Ooh, what a clever.
I got that cleverness in me. So I have a question for you that I think I know the answer to, but I'm gonna. There is a difference in context here that I may not know the answer to this question, but
Okay.
As a commission dev, I have often a variant of the first question, which is, did you know what Indiepocalypse was before I had emailed you?
I did actually.
Yes.
I had a friend of mine who had made Guakuko, had been in a previous Indiepocalypse, and as part of that following Indiepocalypse Radio, I think I had like a trailer for
Yes,
one of the
okay.
older games, Exile, on that. So
Yes. Okay. That's what I was going to ask him. Like, I was going to ask, do you remember that we've spoken before?
yeah.
In Eternity, because I don't think I called it anything Indiepocalypse related to that. I don't remember if I did that or not. I think I just called it the Sicko Showcase.
Yeah, it was the Sicko Showcase specifically, not the Indiepocalypse, I believe.
I think I did during the pledge drive, if I remember right. But anyhow, sorry, what was that person? What was that person's name? I missed it.
Oh, it was the name of the game was Guakuko. I think the profile image is Future Ruins.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. I always like to, in my mind, build my social web of developers and go like, huh. Who knows who knows who knows who? Because a lot of this comes from, people know each other. That's a handy way to connect indie devs together. But it's also, building because game dev is weird because there's no game dev city, so everyone's kind of like scattered on the internet generally.
Yeah. I mean, there's like some people that meet more in person, that sort of thing. But
Right.
Yeah. There's different ways to connect people with technology as the way it is.
So, which is both like very easy to connect. Oh, it's easier than ever to just connect, but also the kind of like the difficulty of, if you had a local meetup, you could just join the local meetup and that wouldn't feel as awkward in terms of like, I'm going to go into this Discord server and just start talking to people. They can sometimes feel more like closed spaces, I think.
Yeah, it really depends on the group too.
Right.
I mean, there's some local meetups where it's been really strange, but there's also been meetups where it's been great. And, there's also been online spaces where it feels wonderful and positive, and ones where it's felt like, I don't know if this is a good one, but we'll see. So
Right. It's impossible to know if you are walking into like a party or a friend's house or somebody's house,
Yeah. Although honestly, like that's just human interaction sometimes.
Right. Yeah. But video games, folks make them. You make them.
Video games. I do.
If people are unfamiliar, and how would you describe Damon, the game from Indiepocalypse 65?
65. Yeah. So yeah, for Demon, I'd probably just describe it as like as with many games, you're wandering around a three-dimensional space, learning about the environment, learning about the people, aural audio stuff, trying to make it eerie and spooky.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Just kind of a lot of weird, creepy spaces. And you just kind of figure it out as you go, and hopefully it's not too hard.
Right. It's exploring. I'm trying to increasingly get better at describing games less with what you do and more with like the feel of them. Because we have this difficulty of to say what it is could describe two games that are drastically different than one another.
That's true. But yeah, wander around weird, low poly, creepy environments, and maybe have some sort of background stuff that you figure out.
Yeah.
Or you don't, because you don't necessarily have to find that stuff to move on, but it could be helpful.
Yeah.
And then it ends, and I don't know, maybe somebody yells at you for ending it. I don't know. The possibilities are definitely more than one as far as how that could be.
Yes, and then I think the possibilities of what one takes from it, an important possibility as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
always very interested to hear what people think things are about. So
right, especially I think games, if I imagine this fake scale of linearity, for what's the word I'm looking for? A metaphor, like this kind of like what's I lost the word. It is.
That's okay.
It escaped my brain.
But
But the dumbed down version is that we know, we feel like games are real and what is happening in the game. Oh, how literal something is. That's what I was looking for. I think that's because I was looking for a word that doesn't exist.
That's fair.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that level of abstraction, I guess, of
Right.
like how cartoony is this, how like distanced from the player is this, versus how much is this supposed to feel like it's you, or that you are filling somebody else's shoes, or that sort of thing.
Yes.
And how much of it is, you are living this fantasy, versus, here's this abstract space, and maybe that feels different, but maybe it draws you in a different way that other games might not.
Right.
Instead of being told this is you, it lets you kind of step into it,
Yeah.
But
Yes, because I think we expect games to be literal. Like a lot of games are understood as being as what is happening is what is literally happening.
right.
Whereas you go on the opposite end. Something like people know poetry aren't literal stories. I feel like that's kind of understood. Generally.
Yeah, very metaphorical language, very using the impressions of words and the connotations rather than the denotations of them, and how that you kind of slip into like that dream space of not so much what am I looking at, but what is what I'm looking at telling me about what I'm not looking at, or the feeling that I'm supposed to feel, or the impression, or the mood, and the symbolic nature of it. Like what is this telling me in layers, or that sort of thing, which can be really, really cool to see. And I love it when games are a little bit more poetic on that level.
Yeah, and there's a lot of room for them to be, and especially like within horror, I feel like very rare, especially where horror is like very prevalent in games. I guess as it is in every medium, horror especially a lot of times, the Babadook isn't a scary guy with a hat. I mean, he's not just a scary guy with a hat that lives in your basement.
Right. It's like there's the classic example of like an alien. Like, sure, there's an alien that's scary, but like the actual terror is partially of isolation in space, the inability to trust people when you have no resources to call on, but then also the whole thought of, well, what if the corporation you're working for is trying to exploit you somehow? That, I'm sure it is not relatable to anyone.
No,
as a normal fear that any of us fear.
Right. No, not at all. Why would a corporation? They? I thought they loved people. That's why they give you pizza parties.
That's they keep saying that, but I don't know. I have my doubts. Maybe that's what horror plays into sometimes.
Right, and and that is like something to, because I have talked to people before when they were making a game and they were talking about how they want to do something that was too much like another game. They want to transition between like two time periods. And I was like, they didn't want to make it like some kind of like, they're trying to think of the literal method through which like the player avatar would move from the time periods. I'm like, you can just like do it like cinematically or whatever. like
the doing it is the important part. It's like the important thing is, hey, this person is going between these two zones or these two frames or these two time frames or whatever it is. The important thing is that you do that, and then the representation of that matches what your intent is, or what you discover the intent is. And it's very much about like at least in my mind, I should say, is that like you need if this is the impression you're going for, give that impression, and then if you need to flavor it, if you need to give the why, okay. But oftentimes you don't.
Right.
One of the things is you can it just happens, and then people will go, oh, okay, I guess this is happening now.
Yeah.
And you know, some people can enjoy that, some people don't. But if the important thing is you're doing that change, do that change. The pacing of it, I find, matters so much, and if you can make that pacing work, then that's very helpful.
Yeah, I think where there's that connectedness sometimes, like we don't have this. People lack, I think, the same, like the loading screen or whatever. The theoretical loading screen should be the same, serve the same function as an edit or a gutter or any number of things in other mediums that we understand. Oh, well, this is a chapter break of, oh, well, this is like a story is starting and stopping and starting, and things are maybe shifting to a wildly different perspective. But I understand this as a participant.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be those things.
Right.
It can serve the same function as like a chapter break in a book or something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no reason it has to.
Right,
There's
right.
plenty of games that use asynchronous loading, and there's plenty of games that use the loading screen perhaps as more than just a punctuation, but as something to get you more involved in it. And I think one of the strengths of games is that you can mess with some of those. I mean, you can do that in books too. You
Right.
can have a book with no chapters. You can have a book with very weird formatting.
Right.
There's plenty of creative options you can do in your medium, whatever that medium is.
Right. You can have a game.
But you also don't have to.
You can have a game that doesn't require loading screens and put a bunch of them in there.
Yeah, exactly.
As like intentional like transition periods.
Yeah, make you wonder about it. Make you think if there's like maybe you just want someone to have some time where they have to sit there and think about something.
Right.
There's plenty of things to do, plenty of ways to interact with people in ways that aren't so much as point at a thing and make it happen and make it do something.
Yes.
You can also, I like the games where they kind of mess with you a little bit, where they subvert expectations. So I try to do that a little bit too.
You're right.
I don't know what's quite going to happen yet, or
But do
a little bit of a feint.
Yeah, and there is like infinite like space to like games can kind of just do anything. Like I think it's easy to get kind of conditioned into, well, you have to use this is how you can WASD moves, E interacts, and then the mouse looks, and but it's like that's made up. We made it all up.
Right. That's just a common consensus that people came to over time. But there's plenty of other controls. I mean, one of my favorite examples is Ape Escape for the PlayStation, where it's just like the movement controls here are weird. Like you're using the control sticks to interact with the net and things like that. Like there's so many different things.
Right.
There.
Like but it's intuitive in the same way. I just played through the first Ape Escape relatively recently.
Yeah.
And like the intuitiveness, like you get used to it, where like, oh, the hula hoop should just make me run fast. I should press a button, but it's like, no, you have to spin your stick around to run fast. Which
exactly, and I love looking at older games like that where things are a little bit less codified and a little bit less. Well, of course we're doing this. This is how it's done, and it's well, what if you didn't? What if jumping was when you released a button versus when you put it down? Like, how would that inform? And that messes. Like, I've tried a couple things like that, and the unlearning you have to do there's a lot of it, but it's also kind of fun.
Yeah. No, think of people take for granted all the learning they had to do for. Now so many games do it now, but like the classic FromSoft style of like shoulder buttons are attack buttons instead of the face buttons. That was
Yeah.
nobody would say that's pre Dark Souls. No one would say that's a smart way to design your game. But now so many games do that just because something successful did it.
Right, and that's part of it. Is that like the mold is it only lasts until there's something else that kind of redefines it. And,
Right.
There's plenty of things. I think honestly, there's still plenty of wisdom and experience that you can get from those successes. And yeah, what are these things showing about where games are and what people expect and all that sort of thing. But you can also say, I don't have to do those.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can just do what you want, and
Right.
it's just a matter of, do people like it, and do you like it, and
Yeah.
is it fun,
I think
or is it weird, and is it spooky, or whatever you want it to be.
Right. I think people are like more open to weird ideas than we give them credit for. There's a lot of emphasis on and I think it's just like the loudness of whatever, like hustle culture or something. It's like, this is how you make your game, says gaming YouTuber. And I'm like, no, I don't want to make a game like that. That sucks. What if I just and there are a bunch of people just fucking around, and I say that in the most positive way right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I am correct, you are a part of a group that is fucking around a lot. In Litho Breakers.
Oh, me? Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm sure it's an anonymous group, and
of course,
probably doesn't know anything.
Both of them, and it's the same with both of these things. Very anonymous, of course. Domino Club, similarly, very anonymous groups.
I'm just sure I've never heard of such a thing, and if I did, I would have no idea who would be in those. That's definitely something weird and mysterious.
Yeah, none of these people list any of their stuff on their store, on their individual itch pages or anything. I don't know. People.
No, definitely not.
No,
there's definitely not a Litho Breakers happening right now, and if there was, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't be a part of that.
No,
for sure.
These anonymized groups are just fully anonymous people. Anyhow.
Yeah, we're very good at being anonymous. Yes.
Yes.
Or whoever it would be, if it was them, and I was one of them. That's probably what I would say.
Yes, it's almost as if there's this cursed feeling of people making extremely cool art, but also a lot of these people are like, wouldn't it be cool if I got paid and I could put stuff on my portfolio with this cool art that I'm making? Maybe I should just put a little. Hey, look, I made this. Also, you want people to know you made it. Anyway.
Yeah, it's fun to say, hey, I made a thing when you make a thing.
Right.
But also, you don't always have to. So.
No. There's the strength to both of them. There's a lot of.
Yes.
There's a long roundabout way to say people are just already making the lots of cool shit, and I think I am. A semi-cursed sort of idea that exists in my brain is that I'm basically always eternally 5 years ago I was saying, I'm just 5 years ahead of the curve, and then it'll be like that every other 5 years, and I'm eternally 5 years ahead of the times, and the times will actually never come. And maybe that is the same for a bunch of people making weird, cool art in games, where it's they feel ahead of the curve, but maybe the curve will never bend back towards interesting art. It'll bend more towards, I don't know, whatever the next trend in gaming is.
I mean, it's all just, I was gonna say it's all just people doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also corporate people deciding what would make a return, which is a big driving factor.
Yes.
What people want to play, but it's still people making choices, and it's still just, hey, I want to make this, or hey, I think this would be profitable. And as far as the cool, fun stuff, it kind of just depends on, hey, what do people like to make, and what do people like to play, and what gets found. And I don't know. I wouldn't think of it as a curve, just because I'm
You're right.
that kind of that. I think that would imply that there's some sort of linearity or prediction to it, and it's just people are just gonna make choices about what they want, and then
Right.
maybe someone will discover an old treasure that people overlooked, or maybe they won't, or maybe it'll be discovered anew, a decade later, or maybe we'll go a different way, or maybe all of the above.
Right. It's one of those.
People doing stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like the impossible. Like we flatten out history in a way that makes sense, but it's always infinitely bigger than like we can just like flatten to a clean narrative.
Yeah.
But we want to go. Oh yeah, this led from X to Y to Z, and in some cases things do to some. Like you can see DNA of things going through other things, but it's never the clear like point to point that it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, like a narrative is like something that we invent to put over a sequence of events to kind of make them make sense.
Right.
But really, like, just stuff happens.
Right.
To be weirdly nihilistic about it, like there's no story, there's no characters in life. It's just people are around doing stuff until they're not, and other people are also doing that, and yeah, it's just how do you respond to that? What choices do you make, and what are you going to do about it? And
right.
Yeah.
No, you're welcome home to nihilism here. As that was, I reached that early as a teen of going, well, nothing kind of makes sense. Like, why? I think it was probably someone talking about something being fated. I'm like, well, fate doesn't make sense. Why would? How would that work? And then,
and fate's also
right. It's our story we put on top of things.
Right, and it's kind of like not useful to think of anyway, because it's like if you're fated for something, if fate exists, then there's nothing you can do about it, and with the choices you were going to make were the choices you were going to make. But if it doesn't exist, and it's just people making choices, well then make the choices you want to, and not the choices that someone tells you to.
Right, or that feel the natural choices.
Yeah, like I think people have a lot more agency than they are told that they do, or that they think they do.
Right.
And that's been something that I've had to learn. But yeah, you can make choices, and your hands aren't often as tight as you think they are.
No. So. Right, and there's like, it's easy to get very caught up in like expectation of yourself, especially where I think like the worst thing about the internet is that you can compare yourself to everybody else. And
yeah, absolutely. No, that's a misery out there, but
right.
It's constant.
Imagine if you're like, I try to like imagine like you're in high school and you're like you're on the track team and you're running, and you're not comparing yourself to maybe other people in your school and other runners in your district, but literally every other person who runs in the entire world. And it's like, well, of course I'm not as fast as those people. Never will be, or maybe I could be, but it's like, you can always find someone who is like that fits like your, like if you want to just hate your own work, you always find someone who does it better,
Yeah, and there's also like ways in which like I do this really well,
right.
But this person has this style that's really cool, and there can be like a tendency to be like, oh, this person doing X is so much cooler than me doing Y.
Yes.
And when in reality it's just, maybe they couldn't do X. Maybe they could,
right.
Maybe I have trouble with Y. Maybe I could do it if I wanted to, but it's also, you only have so much time. And you don't know how much that is. So just, kind of do what you want and what you can. And I know, like, the world also is like, you kind of got to work to eat and all this sort of thing. And it's like, that's fair. But
yeah.
In terms of what you want to spend the rest of your time doing, like, if you want to make something, make something. If you don't, you don't have to.
Right,
and,
right.
Like,
I think that's some of it. Part of it where people's draw to like the AI stuff comes in because they feel like they should be making something, you know.
I mean that's a whole nother bag of worms, and
Right.
there's a lot of just exploitation and
Oh yes,
a whole bunch of stuff over there. But
I'm trying to look. Yeah, I'm talking about like the best what's the word I'm looking for? When I'm giving a person the greatest amount of grace, that human being, not the person who's like, oh, I don't have to pay someone. I'll just have a computer make this out for me.
Oh yeah, I mean I think like the concept of it is like fascinating. Of like, oh yeah, I can work collaboratively with this machine in order to like have this new result or something.
Right.
Like we interact with technology all the time, like synthesizers exist. I love synthesizers.
Yeah.
They're great. And in some ways I'm interfacing with the machine to make that happen. But the way in which AI is currently used as a way to steal people's work, to exploit people, and to just consolidate power in the hands of those who would oppress others further, is the framework in which I think it is unhelpful.
Yes.
It's essentially being used to say, hey, all these people that are doing all this work, we're going to devalue you, we're going to exploit further, we're going to consolidate power in these monoliths that already are kind of already only existing because these people took exploitative steps in the Creative Commons.
Right.
Like Microsoft only exists because Bill Gates exploited a lot of personal opportunities in environments that were somewhat exclusive because of position, but then also in public lab resources and public code and trying to copyright them. And so you see things like, all this stuff consolidating and then not offering that same thing to other people and saying, no, that's ours, no, that's ours, no,
right.
that's ours. And it's just, no, like the whole, like, computing was made by people that were doing like communal projects and sharing and a level of like, just figure stuff out and share with friends and make stuff like that. And then you have someone saying, no, it's all mine now. Also, give me all your stuff. And it's like, no, what are you talking about? Stop it.
All right, this like, oh, I've got to make someone's seeing something that they can make money off of, and like, there's none of these things, like, all the promises of like time saving, but it's like, okay, if let's say in theory I can use, I'll fire up ChatGPT and it can reduce my workload at work 50%. What would take me 40 hours now it takes me 20 hours. Do I get to just fucking kick back for those 20 hours? Probably not, So then what's the point of it all?
That's the thing. Right. Like, this is just used to move the goalpost and exploit people further. And
right.
It's like, are you going to, like, increase wages, like, to make sure that people can still live? Or is this a way to essentially deny people money, which means denying people food and shelter, and essentially kill people through a lack of having things that are required to exist?
Right.
And it seems like it's going to that one, where you have people that are like, no, we're only measuring time because that's the convenient way that we save money. Go starve.
Yes.
And,
right. You
and
think
that's not helping.
You think a lot about the increase of like kiosks and self checkouts at like stores, and you go, okay, well, if those exist and those are replacing, if 5 of those replaces one worker, that person can just kick at home and not work, right? And still receive their salary because you were already paying them that. Oh no, where's that money go then, huh? It just all gets funneled upwards,
Yeah, it's just a way for people to siphon more money and
right.
not pay the people that maintain the machines, not pay the people that were doing work. It's not used to reduce workload, it's used to increase revenue.
Yes.
And the exploitation of that and the devaluing of labor, or rather the requirement of labor to work, and then the saying of, well, we're not giving you an opportunity to, so go die, is just rancid. And
Yeah.
it's a shame that something as so interesting as machine learning, theoretically, like a way that we can share information and have some sort of like collective sort of repository.
Right.
It's fascinating, but the way in which it's used and the way in which it's taught on a lot of very like terrible and racist data and
Yes. And
you know, all that sort of thing is all just so fraught, and it's just like this is just doomed on so many levels to be terrible for so many people.
right. And the way it is also a product, you know. Hello. Like I was trying to identify something while I was working, and so I've got people there like big fans. Like, oh, it's magic! It can do everything. So like, okay, let me use it to identify a part, you know. And it claimed to do that, and I was like, okay, can you give me a link so I can see how much it costs? And there's like, and then ChatGPT was like, actually, it doesn't exist. I made it up. I was like, what?
Yeah, though there's plenty of like it gets stuff wrong, it
Right.
makes stuff up, and it's like so it's
Because-
not even like a repository of information.
Right.
It's generating stuff to look like it's official, and that's also like it's the appearance, it's the aesthetic of information without actually being informative
Right.
and accurate.
Because
So it's
it'd be
unreliable.
it'd be a bad product if it said no. I don't know the answer.
But
People-
even if it was 100% reliable,
Right.
it's still being used to replace people and consolidate that power.
Yes.
And it's trained on bad data.
Right.
Data that is often racist and also used to exploit people. And
Right.
it's just, yeah, it's, well,
It's
also, yeah,
tech.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Tech asks the question of like, what if we took every interesting utopian idea and made the worst possible version of it? And like,
Yeah, I mean, that's a
What-
pattern, unfortunately.
like what can we can this idea like what can we how can we use it to then exploit people? You know, let's take this idea of like whatever fucking what's that thing called, the little Star Trek thing that makes the food for you.
Oh, the replicator. Yeah.
Yeah, like a thing that could make, in theory, like infinite food. Which I'm sure there would be some shitty version of it that would like cost money, and then they would have to deliver it to you. And it's like, how does this cost more money now? This thing just makes food for free.
Right. It's like, how do we have something that should be used to make a resource available for a lot of people? How do we have like so much food that we're producing and yet people are still starving? And the
Right.
answer is, well, because we're still charging for it when we have a surplus. When
Yes.
realistically, we could just give people food to live and we'd be fine. And people would probably be starving less. And it's like, this is something that we see still happening constantly, is just
Right. And
people are fired for giving food that they would throw away to people that need it.
yes,
and-
they have made. There is at least one company that exists for companies to sell leftover food at a discount. And it's
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
and it's like, this food that you theoretically throw away, why don't you just like fucking put out in a free bin and people just take it? Like, it's not gonna hurt Starbucks, you know?
no, but yeah, it's
Right.
that's policy.
It's just
So-
the theory of the free bin means that people might not buy it. Everyone will just wait for it to show up in the free bin, and it's probably like universal basic income, where I'm sure if people test it, they'd be like, no, actually, people still do buy it all day, in the way that people still work.
Yeah, honestly, like work is kind of like exploitative work is not great, but doing things like doing work
Yeah,
is kind of engaging sometimes, especially when it's something that you want to do and you can see it have an impact in your life and your immediate surroundings, and when you can see like, oh yeah, hey, I helped fix something and now it works. That's
Right.
cool. That's like honestly, I like that. And
I-
when you yeah.
I like
There's just so little
I like
of
making spreadsheets and like working with databases. That's fun. I like doing that.
Yeah. There's
Like-
fun stuff, and it's like, hey, I'm making my place better. I'm making like my community better by doing this. Like, great, I'm fixing like,
Yeah,
I don't know, fixing this porch so people can walk into their house. That's cool.
right.
I'm repairing the lights so people can read, so
Right.
people can, have running water. That's great. And
People love to
rewarding.
do DIY projects. If I'm
All the
sure
time.
if people had income, universal basic income, potholes would still get filled, even if it was like an army of dads out there being like, "Got to fix these damn potholes." Sick
It's
of
like
these
something's
things.
got to happen.
Right.
I'm sick of these. We're just going to do it. We're just all going to get together this Friday, and we're all just going to fix all the potholes. And
Right.
it would happen, And
It
it's
could
like, oh, I
foster
don't have to worry
community.
about work. I can just do this because we have the resources we need.
Right.
But
But then, fucking the people up top would only have $1 billion instead of $2 billion or something.
I mean, yeah, it's like, oh no, you wouldn't have more money than you could ever spend in your entire life.
Yes.
Um. Yeah.
But speaking of none of that,
None of that.
we could. I mean, we could go infinitely on fucking
Oh yeah, I
tearing
mean,
down
we're
the
talking
capital
about that
structure.
sort of thing.
As someone with a bachelor in economics, I'm like, it's a fucking broken system. It's the most.
Yeah.
It's the most widely. It's funny how also like, in theory, it takes only like in economics 101 to be like, fucking capitalism doesn't work. It's like the worst system. It's so it's so inefficient.
Yeah, it's not efficient, but it does keep perpetuating itself in
Yes.
weird ways. Which is the only reason. It's essentially, it's not efficient, but it is viral, so
Yeah.
works
Right.
like a virus does.
But speaking of none of that, also, I was like, that also was not a transition. Hey, X-Ray, tell me about rock. What's your favorite type of rock?
Oh, rock. There's so many different types, and yet I know so few names for them. I tend to like very noisy stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if people know black dresses. I like black dresses,
Yes.
Ada Rook, stuff like that a lot. I tend to listen to a lot of like noisy soundtracks, stuff that tends to be like, industrial or ambient or something like that in some ways. So
Yes, I've got a couple of those on my giant Indiepocalypse radio playlist.
Cool, yeah. Like
Yeah.
if anyone, I kind of like this soundtrack to Ruiner or the original Doom soundtrack or Quake soundtrack also is really fun.
Crunchy, messy, kind of like, but like it's very intentional mess. Like I think
Yes.
if you're just coming into it like from an unawareness, like, oh, this is just loud and noisy. Like, oh no, it's actually clearly very intentional noise. I like fucking Melt Banana a lot.
Yeah. Not that, there'd be any way to predict that I would like, I don't know, deliberate noise kind of rock
Right.
music or anything like that.
No,
I don't
no.
certainly make anything like that.
Of course not. We're not going to hear about 2 minutes and 6 seconds of that upcoming soon or anything.
No, that'd be weird.
That would be. It'd be another thing that might seem pre-planned.
Oh, pre-planned, that would be terrible.
This is all seat of the pants we live by here. Speaking of
Yes.
seats, people often sit on things with their pants when they're flying around. When people often, who often flies around? Fucking Toho characters. Hector, do you have a favorite Toho character?
I am aware that Toho exists, and it's mostly through Undertale existing that
Yes.
I've heard of Toho. However, if you were to ask me about Toho, I would be able to tell you, well, I know it exists, I know it's bullet hell, I know there's people that are flying around,
Yes.
and that's really the extent of my knowledge on the subject.
They are cool. They are cool little people, and it is funny. It's like, I think if you were familiar with Undertale, I think it would take approximately 5 to 10 seconds of playing Toho to go, oh, Toby Fox likes Toho.
I would not be surprised
Yeah.
based on what I've heard.
Just like
So,
besides
yeah.
the bullet hell, just like musically, you go, oh, okay, Toho.
Yeah.
But it's worth checking out. We're gonna go on break, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Farewell for now. I almost
Farewell.
just played that. I gotta go over to my little thing there. Hello.
There's also so much to do.
Yes, so much to do. So, like, I have infinite amounts of things to do, but we are back at Indiepocalypse Radio. That was Rot into Oblivion by Hexray. Again, unsurprised. We are here with, in theory, both guests. I'm going to say, one of the guests had to dip out for 1 second. Just hop. You're back. That's horribly mistyped as I type around the other side of my microphone.
That's all right. Typing can be a tricky thing to do while talking.
Yes, that's why I was saying. Anyhow, we're back. Hello.
Hello.
We're basically continuing what we were continuing because it's just you and me still.
Yeah, that's fine.
But video games. What do you think about video games? What about those guys? Weird little things, aren't they?
Video games?
Yeah.
They're weird. I think they're kind of overrated. You know, like I don't know why we were so fascinated with them. You know, I think it's just kind of this flash in the pan thing.
Yeah.
Probably only last a year or two. You know.
Walking left to right, collecting points. Who needs it, right?
Yeah. I mean, just paddle ball back and forth. Like, how fun could that be? Oh wait, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun to do that. Oh wait, maybe it's cool.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, take it back. Video games are neat, actually, and can be kind of fun with your friends.
Thank you, Mr. Space War, for that. Or Mr. Tennis for Twos, I should say. Thank you, Mr.
Or even Pong.
Yeah. Well,
Pong's fun.
yeah. Let me tell you about Pong 2, or what do they call that?
Pong 2.
What do they call? I think actually they might just call it Pong. Have you ever played the PS1 Pong?
The PS1 Pong? No, I have not played the PS1 Pong.
Okay, so there was this period where they were like remaking all the games, all these old classic arcade style games, and adding a bunch of weird shit to them.
Okay.
So like that PS1 Pong is like if you want to like be able to like swing your Pong thing like a baseball bat or whatever.
Oh, interesting. Spin Pong. Spin the paddle.
It has a lot of like weird like power-ups and like themed levels and everything. I think boss fights.
Okay, that's honestly, we're getting into it now where I am very curious as to what this would be like then.
Yeah.
Boss fight Pong.
Check out that PlayStation 1 version of Pong. There's a lot of stuff that's
honestly like Breakout / Pong is kind of like I don't know, I think you can do something with that. I think a lot of devs do something with that actually. So probably some creative space there yet explored.
Yeah. I've played one semi recently about like it's kind of breaking things out of things. What is it called? Oh, Pong the Next Level, of course, is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And they
of course
the little paddles, get up and like emote, of course.
Yeah.
There's
why not?
Little penguins. There's all sorts of, but I think there's like. They're kind of that also kind of reminds me of like an interesting space that games kind of like. It's cursed that Fortnite has become like the license place. Like people should still be able to. We should still be making licensed games. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of you just put it in Fortnite. You have Godzilla in Fortnite
right.
And all that, and it's like, yeah, that's fine. You can have all your favorite stuff in there, and that's fine. But I am also curious about well, what about just a Godzilla game?
Yes.
What about what about I'm just blanking on things existing now.
Yeah. Instead of having of like who is in Fortnite currently, and and why not just put them inside of have them make it. So why can't someone make a game for that?
Yeah.
That there is why? Where's I guess that's a bad example. There's tons of Dragon Ball games still, but fucking Goku throwing off my example. But there is and I was also that's studios hey, you make your money off of fucking making Lego Ninjago for the PS1 or whatever.
Yeah, there's. Granted, a lot of licensed games are probably not great, and probably.
But that's the how I might have lost you if you were talking still. Uh-oh. No, that's me. That's something broken on me. On my end, it looks like. Uh-oh. I've seen this happen before. I just got to give it a second before it'll readjust itself, I think. There we go. Hello. Sorry, we were disconnected for a moment. Something crashed a little on my end, but we're good.
Okay.
I think it was all those Fortnite images I was looking at. It was too much for my computer to handle.
Oh no, yeah, that's a common issue when looking at too many Fortnite issues. The Discord does break.
Yeah, they're like, oh, so much Fortnite, I can't handle it.
Can't handle it.
Yeah, but I think a lot about CyberConnect, who's been around like forever, and they basically make all fucking Naruto games nonstop, so that they can make one of their furry war games every 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly kind of a cool thing to do. It's just, what's that? I'm gonna make this Naruto game to pay the bills so I can make the game that I want to make.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad gig to me.
It's kind of like we were talking about in that last time. It's just the erosion of jobs,
Yeah, it's like sure, I'll do that so I can do this, but I would like to do this, but, well, you see, I wouldn't be able to eat or pay rent.
Yes.
Like that
right.
If I don't do the Naruto game, so I guess I'm kind of compelled to do that.
Where, back, 20 years ago, a Fantastic Four movie coming out would be a PS2 game, the Xbox port, the GBA version, and maybe a PSP version or something. And now it's like, oh, it's a Fortnite skin. Okay, I suppose that's something. Oh, now it's just truly solo. Oh, wait.
What? Okay, so I guess it's my end then. Sorry about that.
No, that's happening. We lost you.
Oh, yeah. We're just having the fun technical difficulty merry-go-round today.
Yes, that's fine. But I somehow fell from, hey, let's talk about video games. So let's talk about video games are shit again. I got tricked again. I tricked myself into it.
Oh no!
No,
let's go back to talking about cool video games.
Yes.
What video games do you like?
Do you like video games? Hey, what's a video game you like? Oh, someone's back. Hello.
Oh hi.
Hello. Sorry.
No, that's fine. You came. You left. You were gone while we were talking about how video games are the worst medium and they're cursing society, and we were talking about what's a video game you like.
Oh, perfect.
No. Do you have a what did video gamers talk about? What are video game podcasts?
What do you do, fellow gamers? What are you talking about?
The fuck do video game podcasts talk about? No, I know what they talk about. I know what I like to talk about. Mario. What's your relationship to Mario?
My relationship to Mario is very distant.
Okay.
Because Nintendo isn't really a big thing in Turkey, I think.
Right.
Or at least for my generation or like my surroundings. Because of economy and everything, it's always been kind of like an expensive hobby.
Did you have Dendies over there?
I don't know what that is. So
okay, so no.
I also don't know what that is.
Yeah,
a Dendy is like one of like the kind of like bootleg, unofficial, like a hard, like one of those clone consoles.
Yeah. Okay. I do know what you mean. Yeah, we had those.
Okay. Yeah.
We had those like 999 in one like ultra pirated ROM playing like machines. And yeah, I think I only had 2 Nintendo consoles growing up. I had a Game Boy Advance that I got for my birthday from my grandparents, and it only had 2 games, Sonic Advance and a Crash Bandicoot game. And then I had a Nintendo Wii, which is my favorite console ever.
Which there are abundances of.
Well, for a very good reason. I think it's an amazing console.
Yeah,
I wish they made stuff like it still.
it's a tricky thing where it's like it is like low power enough that it's easy to emulate, but also like you got to have a little thing. You got to get a Wiimote. You know, you need the bits and the bobs for it to work.
You can buy it for like $20, I
Right.
think. So it's not like a big investment either.
Yeah, the benefit of there being a billion of them made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the kind of like the part of the weirdness of like portability. Not portability in terms of like traveling, but portability in the sense of the ability to port things. Is like Nintendo also has like weird things to port to places when like, you know,
Mhm.
in theory, one could simply play most consoles on a PC with no issue.
Theoretically.
Theoretic. I always wonder if it's an issue of like there is some license thing that I am just unaware of like, or maybe there's just the culture's not there. But if I'm like an old studio, it's got fucking. If I'm still kicking around and I've got some old NES games kicking around, do I need to make a remake or can I just like sell my ROMs like on itch.io?
Like, honestly, like, I bet you it's a combination of legal something or other. Like, as you said, the licensing is probably a headache, but it's also probably well, we don't want to give these away.
Right.
And we don't want to just, like, post them online. Someone could, like, take them and use them.
Yeah.
And we also, I think there's also, like, corporations for creative stuff also have this thought of, well, we can't appear to devalue our own stuff.
Yeah.
Because then we set a precedent for like
Yeah.
letting people just do what they want, and we want to sue them and have them cease and desist so that we have complete control over our IPs. And it's like theoretically, like the only thing stopping is like probably the dev time of porting something to a PC, or even just exporting the ROM directly to itch.io. But also, itch.io is like the indie platform, and
Yeah.
a lot of like big studios like, oh, we don't want to be there.
The,
You know,
the
So,
theoretical itch.io. Maybe you put it on Amazon, but yeah.
Yeah, but even then, it's like just download it. It's
Right,
like,
right.
this
It's-
is what
it-
Mario's been out for how many decades?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. You can just.
It's the funny thing I ever see whenever I see someone like playing an old game online and like, oh man, I wish they would remake this game, or like I hope someone does a re-release. I'm like, you're literally playing it. The fuck do you need a re-release for? It's right there in front of you.
Right.
You are actively playing the game. Like we have the mechanisms.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of like executives and like decision makers not
Right.
wanting to, as you said, not give it away. And I think it might also be partly like, at least, like I didn't know this was a thing, but it kind of came up at work about
Yeah.
like releasing older titles and stuff, and they said it's also like a legal issue because you might have used, let's say, like a sound library
Right.
in this game made in 2006, and the game is using that, and you cannot, like, it was licensed back then and it ran out, so to re-release it you need to make another agreement with the company if it exists in the
Right.
first place.
Well,
And,
it
like,
doesn't
track down
exist.
who
Doesn't
owns
exist.
the-
You're
who owns
cool.
the rights.
Yeah.
You're cool. You're right off in the sunsets with those audio files. No one's gonna come for you. But no, yeah, that happened. There was what was it? That fucking what's his face? Like Jens Lekman re-recorded, I think, a couple of his albums because they had samples, and like, why not? We're not going to repay for these samples. Or like licenses
it's
ran out.
more than, it's more than a samples, but like the sound engine, let's
Yeah.
say.
Right,
Or
right.
like code. It's more sort of like software sort of stuff,
Yeah.
I guess. Like,
Right. And then you're like, hey, why do we still care about this? It's like, then like, why does that executive still care about this sound, the sound engine from 20 years ago, you know?
I agree. It's silly. I
Right.
think if they understood that piracy is not Like, if they saw that piracy is a service issue,
Right.
and if they made it easier for people to pay them to get the ROMs instead of going on like whims rip,
Yes.
or something like that, like they could make money.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it's you can make money. I will give you my money if
Ye-
you allow me to download virus-free ROMs of your
Yes.
old catalog. But
If-
you won't, so I'm gonna go pirate it.
If it was just as easy, me going to a website and like downloading, like it's like, hey, I want to play fucking, whatever. I want to play some game. I'm trying to think of something that would be like, I'm blanking on some. What are video games? I can't think of a name of a video game.
Nintendo or
Oh.
3DS.
Yes, I want to play Nintendogs. I want to play Pong the next level for the PS1.
There
Yeah.
you go.
And I will just go to video game Bandcamp, whatever you call it. I will gladly pay them $5 for whatever to get this ISO that I'm gonna play through like DuckStation or whatever. But
Yeah, no, that'd be great. But no, they're like, hey, you don't own the console that you bought. You don't buy the games, you're renting them until we decide you don't have them anymore.
right,
And that's the direction they're going. And I'm like, this is rancid, and I hate this.
no,
Um,
I'm increasingly buying
agree.
physical. I've switched over to basically buying physical copies of things exclusively.
Yeah, if you can. Like,
Yeah.
there's sometimes they're just like, here's a download code.
Oh, I'm
Have
just not
fun.
gonna.
And
Maybe I
I'm
just
like,
won't play it then.
Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah.
I had happened to me. It was so frustrating. I got Stick of Truth, physical copy, and I opened the thing and it was like a cardboard disc in there. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That truly cursed. When it's
Thank you. This totally defeats its purpose. I'm
Right.
very glad I spent money on
Yeah.
this.
This is why I want to make like flash drives and CD-ROMs and cassette tapes and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
Just like, you want it? Here, like have it. Go ahead. Now it's yours. And
Yes.
I can't take it from you.
right. If Itch.io disappears tomorrow, if my website goes down, there's still like a couple thousand. I don't know if a couple. At least 1,000 copies of Indiepocalypse floating around somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And flash drives are pretty cheap.
Yeah, though, yeah, they're
considering.
like even with like even post tariff de minimis elimination and everything within the U.S. of course, still pretty affordable. Still about a little around $1.
Yeah. And yeah, hey, I bought this for $1. Do you want it and everything I put on it for
Right.
$2?
Hey, that's all it takes. Like, these and if you go, does sell like special like USB cases, for holding like clipping USB cases into. I just don't like the form factor
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
They're like a weird like top clamshell kind of thing, kind of like a Game Boy. If people are familiar with like the little plastic aftermarket Game Boy cases you would get, or
Yeah.
or like a compact.
Yeah. I honestly like the flip case, kind of like you
Yeah.
have it in a thing. I like those a lot.
Yes.
I
Oh, okay. Actually,
yeah, those are great.
they do have some. I'm looking at AliExpress here, or Alibaba has. How much are these things? 50 cent, 50 to 110 actually.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. You gotta buy in bulk, but like it's
Yeah.
You're typically like it's great. Like you can just get a whole bunch, and it's not that bad.
Right.
It's not fast.
No.
You do have to like plan ahead, but
Yes.
as far as affordability, it's not too bad.
Now do
but
they?
you just share that with people. So
Yeah. Now do they have? I can't tell from. Do you have personal experience with these cases, or?
not with these ones specifically. But stuff where it's like, a case, or like I tend to like CD jewel cases and like
Yes.
cassette tape cases and stuff like that. And even if I'm not directly storing like a cassette tape in there,
Yeah.
it's like a nice shape. It's
Right.
fun to open and put a thing out or in
Yes,
and
that's
all
that.
that. And I don't know.
That's why I probably will never switch off of them because I like the form factor a lot.
Yeah.
I was looking at these and
I also
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, good.
I was just looking at these and I was like, do they have like a front flap that we could fit cover art into? Because you, on the back, like you can't put it, because that's the only thing I would think about is like being able to slide cover art on there.
Most of them you can.
Yeah.
I think I've encountered a couple where they just don't have that, but
Right.
in general,
And I
I
think,
think that's just generally part of it.
yeah, and you could just ask them beforehand as well.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, hey, do you have these? Do you have a front flap? That is if you know, for people who, although I've taken Ash K's advice and I have switched over to using Velcro, little tiny little Velcro dots where I used to tape all the sticks down, and those work actually just fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Velcro works great.
Yeah, folks, independent publishing with games, very easy to do. You could just as easily grab, if you're making little games, you could put a bunch of them on a USB stick and go to like a little night market or like a zine fest.
No, Zine Fest maybe. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I've worked both of those, and they're both done. You know, also the really nice thing about those is they only cost like usually like $20 or $40. If they cost anything at all. They're like dirt
You can get a
cheap.
spot gun and like scatter shots into the crowd.
Right.
And you get a game, and you get a game.
Yes. And then you'd be like, also give me money for this.
Yeah, after the fact.
Yeah. Because I am adamant that if like, I think you would see way different demographics of developers at gaming conventions if the expectation was similar to Artist Alley, where you would sell your games at events, you know. But, you know,
Yeah.
as it stands, the people who are going to PAX are the people who can afford like a couple $1,000 on a booth, you know.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, go to a local zine fest and just like have like, hey, this is my game zine, you know, and it's, you know, I might be going to a zine fest later this month, and I might have some, I don't know, some audio things or some game things. One thing I've done, I've actually compressed some of my music into like a floppy drive. It's like compressed all to hell.
Yes.
But it's the what is it? The Learn to Walk like EP. I basically compressed it all so much that it fits on a floppy drive, and I'm just like, hey, do you want this on a floppy? And people are like, I don't have a floppy drive half the time, but the other half of the time people are like, oh, this is so cool. I'm gonna go find a floppy drive, and I'm like, cool, you know, and it's, I don't know, it's a fun little thing, and I'm like, here, now you have the music, and here's a download code on there for free also because you already bought it, and yeah, I don't know, it's fun. It's fun to have the thing. It's fun to make a thing to give to people. So,
and like
make things.
And the really cool thing that I always tell people is, if you like a thing, when you have a thing, you can give that thing to a friend.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think that spreads culture so much faster than links, you know. Like,
yeah, I mean, like I share like my music and games and stuff with my friends, my coworkers and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, you want a sticker? Here's a sticker. You know, have fun. So,
like, I feel like you're way more likely to, like, if someone gives you like a CD, to listen to a CD than if they like give you a Bandcamp link or something. It's so easy, it's so easy for those things to get lost.
Oh, so easy. And
then, especially like anything that's basically, and this is probably a me problem, but anything that is not an email has a shelf life of about a few hours after I've read it. Then it just disappears forever, basically.
If I get a message and I don't remember to respond right away, then it enters into the oops. It didn't go into ROM, so it's just gone. Until I get a follow-up, hey, did you see that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot.
Right.
I apologize.
Because it went and collapsed into a little folder of everything else. That's just a single icon, and like, oh, what is in this? And it doesn't even have like a, like, I could, you know, scrolling through this Discord friends list, I could not tell you which of these people I would need to respond to if they even have a pending message, you know.
Yeah.
But emails, those are just sitting there in my inbox.
That's true. I do have to remember to check my email.
Oh, that is a different problem. I love checking email. I'll check it right now. I'm like, what's in here? Ah, nothing in there really. That's my,
an ad? Oh, okay.
Oh, these cool. I also like to check is people. Weirdly, like my Indiepocalypse email is like ad free. Like I get no spam.
Nice.
Like,
Ideal.
Like not even like straight to spam. That's why I tell people just put your fucking email on like your website. I have that email like unvarnished on like my website on every social media I have. I don't get any spam.
Yeah.
Like it feels like kind of like shadow banning, where I think it's like a made up thing that most people like are afraid of, that but feels like mostly made up.
I mean, I tend to just get spam when I put my email into things where it's like, hey, you need to, in order to buy this thing, we need an email. And I'm like, why? But also, I guess I need the thing.
Right.
So here we go. And it's like, oh, weird, I'm getting spam now. How did that happen?
I'm a large proponent. I am a big fan of hitting the I did not sign up for this.
Yeah.
That is
not signing up for stuff is ideal.
or
unsubscribing immediately after if they do require it.
Yes, right. And telling them, why did you unsubscribe? I didn't sign up for this. I didn't. Like,
I don't want it. Bye.
I don't need it. I'm good. I'm fine. whatever you're offering me, I do not need email updates from everything that I ever use. I just, yeah.
You mean you don't want to hear about the top 10 sofas of March?
No.
Review list?
I'm fine. I don't need regular sale updates from a thing I bought from once. I'm good. I'll survive.
Oh, but we miss you. Come back. It's been so long.
Yes.
I bought one thing from you one time. That was not a relationship.
Oh, and cartridges I missed. I wasn't looking at the chat, and I missed previous guest friends of the show, who is making their own console.
Hell yeah!
Has made.
That's so good.
I recommend folks out there check out the Game Tank.
That's a good name.
It's a if you're like not a fantasy console, but a new someone's like, what if I just made a whole ass retro 8-bit console that you have to it has emulators of course, but you can also just make cartridges for. I'm a big just make your own cartridges, make your own consoles. If Nintendo doesn't let you make consoles, just make a new one.
Yeah.
Like any good platform, it has support of Bad Apple, of course, showing you that it's a true console. It's just waiting for its Doom.
Oh, that's true.
Waiting for its version of Doom, I think.
The two benchmarks, Bad Apple and Doom.
Does it have both of those? Although it was determined that on the show that Bad Apple is the ultimate benchmark because you could make Bad Apple and Doom, but you could not make Doom inside of Bad Apple.
That's a fair point. Because
Bad Apple is just a music video, not a console. not something that accepts input. I guess you could use the graphical style, perhaps, which would be interesting. I had never actually checked to see if anyone had attempted to try it, what their version of that would be. But anyhow, we're approaching the 2-hour mark. As you careen, this is when I tell people to fasten your seatbelts. I'm putting the fasten seatbelt line is back on. That no smoking thing that all planes have now still for some reason, even though I don't think there is any plane that ever allows smoking.
Not in my lifetime.
Yeah, I have not seen, but so many of them do still have the little no smoking light. Maybe there's a really cool plane somewhere that lets you smoke all the time.
Maybe if you own it.
Maybe they just want it on constantly, so it's like, you are never allowed. Don't worry about it. We'll let you know, and we will never let you know.
I don't know. It's coming back. Smoke is coming back.
Oh, no.
I guess. It feels like it is, weirdly enough. Or in some places it never left. When I was at a maze in Berlin, fucking everyone was smoking. It was just like,
I think it's very country dependent.
yeah.
That makes sense.
But also when I was the Berlin duty free had like the most intense anti-smoking ads I've ever seen. They have like pictures of like, what smoking does to your body, like on the cartons.
It's the same in Turkey.
Yeah, like no,
Yeah.
we just
You go
have
crazy.
we just have a Surgeon General warning, and depending on what your state you're in, intense taxes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is it is. Yeah, I know I have the feeling that's taxes because I would see cigarette prices living in Massachusetts spike at rates that were not in line with everything else increasing in price. They just like would spike constantly. Like, oh, it's up a dollar again, up another dollar. Nothing else is getting more expensive inherently or in the same way. But
Cigarettes and eggs, 2 pillar stones.
yeah. It's what we need. That's why legalize it, folks, and just legalize things. Just tax it. Just tax revenue. Just free tax revenue. Until we have universal income and those dads to fill potholes, we need that fucking tax revenue to fill those potholes.
Where could we get all that tax revenue? Is there anyone that has like a lot of money that isn't being taxed or something?
I think there are some people. I think in theory you could put like a modest tax increase on. Maybe some people have over like $1 million, some amount of money, and use it to say, for instance, pay for free lunch programs for the entire state. And I don't think any of those rich people would even notice. And they all.
Oh, do there people that have that much money?
I believe so. They live in.
Oh wow.
They like to live on like vineyards and things like that. They live in places like.
Oh wow.
In places named like Martha's Vineyards and probably Nantucket's, and they have big boats they use to get there. And
people own boats?
Oh, they do own boats indeed. Multiples.
I can't imagine owning a boat. That's wild.
Right, an extra thing that you would never use to get to work. Why would you have an extra vehicle that can't get you to work?
I mean, like, the only vehicle I need to get to work is my feet, and sometimes the bus.
Oh,
when my feet hurt.
I wish either of those would work for me, but my feet would have to take me maybe an hour to get to a place where I could work. Not my job.
Yeah.
A place where I could work. The first available workplace. So I was just elaborate. The first available workplace. I was just continuing it.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't even know what to do with a boat.
Right. I guess sailing it.
Maybe if someone has a boat, they should, I don't know, help pay for things. And maybe if somebody has like 30 boats, maybe they should also help pay for things.
Yeah,
somebody has
more, like $1 million boats that they never even used before. Just like, now see, Hexer, what you understand is. Let me tell you about trickle-down economics.
Yeah, I don't understand this. Please tell me how this works.
So, you see how it works, because when that guy buys that boat, somebody has to build that boat. And because they're building, because they have to build the boat, and somebody has to build the screws and the wood for the boat, all the money just goes down to those people. It's not
do the people that make the boats get paid enough to live?
Oh, no, of course not.
But why not?
That's why it's called trickle-down, not flow-down economics.
Why do the people that build the boat not get paid enough to live?
Well, you see how it works is when someone buys a boat, the boat salesman takes about 80% of the sale, and then, the steel manufacturer gets about another, 80% of the money they're given, and then eventually these little bits of 1% and 2% filter through, 5 or 6, 80%, get down to your average laborer.
And this is the same way I imagine how games keep hiking in price, but the quality of them, like employment and benefits
Yeah.
and being able to get a living wage at your game industry job seems to be about the same place where it was.
So we
Exactly.
don't pay the people first. We pay the people that make the thing last after everyone else has decided to take some in between.
Yes. It's
That
It
doesn't
sounds
sound
great
very
to me. I
nice.
think
That
we should
sounds.
continue.
it's
Oh no!
it's how you
I
realize
think
that,
I
like,
disagree with that.
right. It's like see, you don't even need the economics 101 course. You need 5 seconds to realize how inefficient capitalism is. You go,
I think it's
huh?
a very nice assumption to make that this is the only option when
Yeah.
the world, from my knowledge, existed for a bit longer than how long capitalism has been around. And I think I mean, of course, we had our issues, but
Yes. Yes,
I don't know.
I'm not looking to rush back to feudalism. I'm not looking to be a sharecropper or whatever. But
I mean, there's other
there are
places
better.
of existing other than feudalism.
Yes.
There's plenty of communities that were perfectly self-sufficient until capitalism came in, killed a whole bunch of people, and said, "Now you must pay for food."
Yes, right. No, I'm just for all the CEOs listening who go, fine, you didn't want capitalism then? How about now I own all your property and you occasionally get to keep a bit of it, which is still the same thing. You just called it something different.
What am I
Anyhow.
supposed to post to LinkedIn in that case?
Anyhow.
What a wonderfully positive situation and topic to be talking about today.
Yes. It's
Anyway,
almost
game.
it's almost as if like just like living under it constantly, like your brain can't stop thinking about it. It's like how Damocles just never shuts the fuck up about that sword,
Oh my goodness, Damocles.
Just chill. Now I have to check.
Damocles.
Now I have to check to actually make sure. That's one of those things where it's not like he's the fellow who has to sit underneath it. He's the fellow hanging it. He's probably the fucking king hanging it or whatever.
No, I believe the sword of Damocles is a sword that is hovering above Damocles at all times.
Okay,
I
good.
believe that is it. And in that way, we are all Damocles, in the way that we are all Spartacus.
In the way that we're all thinking about this sword and we can't stop talking about it. If I was Damocles, I would never stop talking about that sword. I'd be like, guys. They'd be like, please, we've heard enough of it. Be like, it's still above me. I'm gonna think about it.
It hasn't stopped. I
Right.
just see it all the time.
Right. If you had a giant sword of you, you'd think about it too. And then whatever his friends are, I don't know who his contemporaries were. I don't know who he was friends with. That's one of those. That's also like, a fun mental practice. Remember that people 2,000 years ago had friends, and they also like lived 24 hours in their life. I feel like it's so easy to get to forget things like that.
Yeah.
The internet kind of like really encourages you to like reduce people into like characters, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a strong tendency for that. But don't.
Yeah, I saw
because people are people and
Right.
not caricatures.
I saw a seminal important post when I was making the live post for this show. It was the one about like the internet is 10,000 people bullying someone for something they should have been bullied by 1 or 2 people for. And it's like, yeah, it's, plenty of times people make mistakes constantly, but then you have like what feels like the wrath of God descending on you, when really maybe you need one friend telling you to stop being such a shithead or something. You go, oh yeah,
Yeah, like the ideal of like having a couple of friends that are like, hey, that was a shitty thing you said.
Yeah.
Don't do that. As opposed to the tidal wave of humanity
right,
saying no, and that not always being accurate.
right.
Also,
And some
like
my friend is less likely to try to find out where I work and get me fired, which is a whole other thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not a very good thing that every thing you do and every interaction is so like televised is not the right word, but like
Yes.
broadcast into
Right.
Available.
the entire like the entire human, like every human device on Earth
Yeah.
for the past, present, and future. As long as those servers are up, it's gonna be there, and people will come across it and still from the past, like or future, just bully you or
Yes, and
make you more aware.
and the effort also you need to put in as like an observer of like, is this person a scourge of the industry who's exploitative and manipulative, or is this somebody someone doesn't like? And
Yeah.
because there's a big gulf between the two of those. One is worth getting ousted, and removed, and one is like less so. It is it's the complication. It's the flattening of everything. Of like, everything too much is on everything on this giant spectrum. But who knows?
I think we need more time away from misery machines.
I do think
That is my
just like logging off is very helpful. It's just, and it's fun. Like the increasing number of people who, when I do promo, like post from, like just have zero social media accounts.
I mean, like, I technically have some,
Yes.
but, like, I so rarely post on them. I'm just like, oh, should I post? What would I post? I don't know.
Right.
Oh, I have to go to work. Okay.
Right. You basically use it just to post that stuff came out. Like, oh, I made something.
Yeah.
You should see, like, hey, check out the thing I made. Sometimes, like...
Oh, wow.
And also, it's also, I wonder if this is going to be... let me check with the both of you. I wonder if this will be the case. This happens sometimes with a lot of times with people on the radio show where I'll be like, how do I get to this post? Yeah. So a lot of times I will go to download their image, and their last post is almost two for two. Their last post is them reposting that they were in Indiepocalypse. Which is, in Hector, is your case. Your last post is sharing that, your the newly commissioned game, which also, as you have on your website now. Oh no, right, it was 2 months ago. I was like, 1 month ago. It's 67. I'm so lost. What is time?
What is time?
What is time? I thought for a second I had to tell you that an issue came up, but I'm like, no, I didn't. That was a month ago.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, but if you do want to try out the game that I made for Indiepocalypse 65, you can check out Indiepocalypse 65, or you can go to my
your own website. Yes, we're getting... perfect segue, perfect half segue into exactly where we need to get to as we are at an hour 59 and 38 seconds as the time that I said that is, hey, do we have any before we get into promotion? Does anyone have any non-promotional things to get off their brain to get into the world?
Non-promotional things.
Yes.
Wow, does such a thing exist? Hey everyone, hope you're doing all right. Hope you're having a good day. And if you're not, I hope it gets better.
Well, perfect. Yeah, no, I think that is like part of like my increasing disinterest in online, because I think it just makes like active use of it just makes so many people's lives worse. Like just obsessing with it, There are no positive associations with. That's why there's no they don't call it hope scrolling for a reason,
I think it is hope scrolling. I think it's like, oh, I gotta keep going until I find something good, and then I can just bounce off this website, and because I found the good thing. But it's just no, it's not. It's I can't find any hope here. But maybe there's something. Maybe I'll find it.
Yes.
No.
You have to.
No, I'll just keep going.
You have to at best very carefully curate your feed, and then pray that none of the people you're following become posters. And
may none of you be cursed with posting.
Right. Listen, there's some good posters out there, but most of you ain't.
No, I'm not. I don't post. That's why.
No,
I'm a bad poster.
And that's fine. We're not all. Most people aren't built for the posting life. Nothing. The democratization of access and content creators and all that stuff has made me truly respect like writers and comedians more than ever. I'm like, oh, it actually takes work to be funny. You can't just like. Most people are not, as it turns out.
Oh no, I'm not funny in the slightest. I'm very unfunny.
Yes, there's a lot of. The internet is filled with people who are like the funny person at the office, who is like removed from that is like, could not stand on their own 2 feet. Anyhow,
I think
yes.
it's forced. I cannot be funny on command.
No,
So
it's difficult. It's
social
a
media
skill.
funny posting does not really work out for me.
Right. It's a meaningful skill that people hone, like every other skill that people hone. Anyhow, you gotta respect people's skills, and the more like intangible they are, like writing I think gets at some of the worst, because everyone's like, oh, anyone can write, physically write. So go, of course I can do that. Where if they were trying to draw, it would look a lot worse, and they can immediately identify that they drew a bad cat. But if they go, oh, anyone can type the word cat. So
it's about intention, though.
Yeah,
I think.
right. But that's why I think writing. Oh, I wish I could find this. There was this word that was on a talk. And all the people I would ask, would have to ask them very surreptitiously because I would have to say I wanted to ask what the word is because I hated it. But there was like a local meetup-ish talk that was something about like talking about being in like an ideas guru or something, some cursed idea of a position at a game studio. It was like how to be an ideas captain. And I was like, shut the fuck
Here's
up.
the thing: is that like ideas, like you can make like there's a lot of fun ideas out there.
Yeah.
But like everyone could say like, oh, I thought of the idea, and it's like, okay, but did you do it? You could do it. Did
Right.
you? No, you should do it.
I guess they're
It'd be
the
fun.
cheapest thing you can have.
Right. And usually people in the shit of it usually tend to have better ideas because they're like in it,
Yeah, I mean, it depends, but
Yeah.
I'd say an idea that you worked on is better than one that you didn't because you did it. You tried to make it happen, and you can make it happen. That's what I do. I just keep making things that I want to see, and just do it. It's fun. I recommend it.
Well, I fortunately went to that talk, so I will be delegating all my ideas to be realized for me. But I did come up with them, so I do get paid the most.
Oh, I don't like that.
Well, do something about it. What are you gonna do about it? Post?
Well, I'm gonna make my own games. Well, no, posting doesn't do anything. Posting isn't. Posting isn't activism. Come on. You wanna? Wanna do something? Do something. Make a change. But yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. And speaking of people who are making games, we've got a couple of people here who are making tons of games. So Hexray, if people are looking for your games, where can they find those games?
Oh, if they're looking for my games,
yes.
Well, if you're okay with making that mistake, you can go to Hexray at itch.io. You can go to my website, which is almost updated, but rarely ever quite to the moment to moment.
Right.
You can also go to Bandcamp, and you can see my music there. If you want to do something kind of like a game, but instead of playing a game, listen to some music that's kind of noisy and ridiculous.
Yeah.
I technically have a Blue Sky and a Mastodon, and I think I remember to use them approximately once every 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
But if you want posts, probably would be better served by finding a poster and not someone who doesn't post.
Yes.
Hey, that's me. You also check out Lithobreakers, and not that I would be involved in that, but there's some cool stuff there.
You're just a fan.
I'm just a big fan of Lithobreaking.
I don't know any of the people in it. I just also am a big fan of all the people, most of the people in it.
Yeah, Lithobreak. It's like a magic card. It's not even like a it's not even like a video game thing at all. I think, right? Anyway,
it does sound like something that would probably be like maybe blue black or something.
Oh, it's red. It's actually
red.
the latest set from Edge of Eternities. So don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's not important in the slightest. But yeah, you can find me on my website Hexray or Itch.io Hexray or Bandcamp Hexray. It's Hexray.
Yes, and that's Hexray, folks. If you're confused, that's Hexray with an E there, just to make sure for those audio listeners. An E at the end, that is. Of course, there's an E in Hex.
Yeah. If you want to spell it Hexrae. There you go.
You fools! Of course, there's that first E in Hex. How do you think we spell things around here? But yes, no, highly, recommend to check out that stuff. People have. It's nice. It's cool to have websites. I love when people have websites. Speaking of
websites are neat.
Yeah, even if you don't update them, they often go to places that are updated.
Could be sometimes if you're lucky.
Yes, like all these SoundCloud links look like they're broken, but.
Oh right. I do need to address that. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, I gotta fix that.
But there is a Bandcamp link here at the bottom that works just fine.
Yeah, check out Bandcamp. Don't check out Sundance. Check out Bandcamp. That's where you can actually find it.
That's how I found my way to Learn to Walk. And how you got it in your ears today on this show.
And there's more music coming out every so often.
Yes.
Check it out.
And
Bandcamp Friday was yesterday, but you can listen to it still today.
Yes. And like with Weedian and their fun weed number, you can get a lot of this music for the devil's number. And have a lot of fun downloading your music. Bandcamp throws up little horns when you do that.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I didn't know they did that. That's really cool.
Yeah, when you go to buy something for $6.66, it puts up little devil horns. A little devil horn emoji.
Of the 3 funny numbers, I only find one of them funny, but it is that one. So
yes. And the other, listen, maybe we all find our funny numbers in life.
Yeah.
There could be technically 4 funny numbers, depending on who you ask.
I'm sure there's plenty of funny numbers out there.
I was thinking if for friggin' hitchhiker nerds, I'm like they probably find that number funny.
Oh, you're right. No, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
So there are probably this is I will have another show where we will not a tribunal. We will gather a forum where we will discuss and try to determine the number of canonical funny numbers.
Everyone, please submit funny numbers.
Yes.
I want to see all
There
the
are
funny
some
numbers.
region-locked ones. Like in Turkey, we have our own funny number that no one else will find funny.
See, we have regional funny numbers. Like, our funny numbers are too U.S.-centric, first of all.
That's very true. We need fewer U.S.-centric funny numbers.
We Indiepocalypse Radio is about making hard decisions about things that are immutable, like, when probably a month ago at this point, in our discussion with Kid Reamer, we decided that the definition of a video game is a thing where you have a key and you use it to open a locked door, and that anything that does that is a video game. Anything that doesn't do that is, I don't know what it is, but it ain't a video game.
Oh, see, I like the definition of a video game as whatever you can get away with.
That's also I'm also very fluid with my definitions of video games. Ali, where can people find your work if they're looking to find that work?
You can check out maruska.itch.io, Maruska.
Yes.
And probably, I think that's the only place. There's
Perfect.
also Blue Sky under the same tag, and there's also a Steam game called Isopolysion you can play.
And unlike Hexray, you're extremely active on Blue Sky. You have made about 3 posts since your Indiepocalypse release post.
Ooh, 3 whole posts? That's pretty good for me.
Well, no, you've made 0. Your last one was a repost of your Indiepocalypse release.
Oh, unlike, yeah, okay.
Yeah, unlike
sorry,
Hexray, just you've made about 4 posts. 5 if you count reposting this radio show. But honestly, that's posting. That's posting I respect. Those are good. Those are expert numbers so far as I'm concerned.
Single digits is, success.
Yes. Yeah. No. 60 posts. Like, mwah. I'm not even. I'm an early adopter. I had to get invited into Blue Sky. I am at 700 posts.
Just to have one post, and then you're always first.
Right, and that counts. And that is as someone who posts 10. Bear in mind that I post at bare minimum about 15 every month. So if you go, let's see, my intro post looks like it's from 9 months ago. So, just I'm not going to do math because I'm going to accidentally stop my recording. But you do the math, folks. That's like a lot of those posts are just straight up Indiepocalypse release posts. Probably the majority. Anyhow, speaking of Indiepocalypse, also Mariska, to put a little spell on that, MAARSUKA. The little people, make sure people get that extra A in there that they might have missed. And that is, of course, the second A in the front. I trust you would get the A at the back. Indiepocalypse, of course, Indiepocalypse.com is a great place to buy it. It's the cheapest way there, and I get the money the fastest there, and I don't have to worry about it's doing any funny business as well, because it's my own damn website. Granted, I do have to go through a payment processor, but whatever, I will never unexpectedly remove any of my games, unless I just make a mistake and delete stuff from my server, which I hopefully won't. And if you want to submit games, indiepocalypse.com/submit, of course. Indiepocalypse.com/Patreon is a place where you want to subscribe to things. If you want to subscribe and buy games and not think about them, or not think about purchasing things, it's a great place to do that. You can also, there's a tier there for just purely the commission games for only $5 a month. For frankly, and then you can get that for $50 a year, I think, which is for less than any AAA game, to get 12 brand new games from people who are the cool people of the indie world. That's a bargain. It's I'm practically giving those games away at that price. And then you're also supporting all the people here by doing that. If you buy issues 65 and 66, I mean, you both are brand new to the Indiepocalypse world, but soon hopefully you will be well familiar with the world of Andrew sending me $6 to $7 through PayPal every 8 months or so.
Ooh!
I know, very exciting stuff. And if you can help,
I can get a gallon of milk for that.
Right. If you want to help buy indie devs milk at a frequency greater than 6 to 8 months, buy Indiepocalypse. Or you know what? Just buy the game straight from them. That works too. That's also the best. If you want to do that, if you know specifically, hey, I want to get Hector that milk, don't buy it from Indiepocalypse. Just fucking buy it from them. Buy it from her. Get it direct. Get the shit direct,
Get the milk direct. Or
yes.
Give the milk direct. Just hand me a bucket of milk.
Yes.
Great.
Find Hector at your local Zine Fest and pay for her goods and wares in milk. Do not.
If I receive milk from a stranger, I will almost certainly not drink that. So
yes.
Please do not just hand me random milk. I'll go buy it from the store.
If you go, Hector is going to be at this local Zine Fest I'm going to, do not buy a gallon of milk and bring it to the Zine Fest with you. It is not.
No, that will also go bad, very bad. That will end very badly for everyone involved.
Because you would both need to bring it in a cooler and then also provide that cooler so that the milk can survive. And listen, the barter system has its ups and downs, but folks, you trade zines at Zine Fest, not milk for zines. We've read
milk for zines.
Yes. We rail a lot on capitalism here, folks, but I'm not here to start to say that milk should be our currency. There are less efficient systems, and milk as currency is probably one of them.
That's
Imagine
the next
game. Yeah, that's all right. That's the next game.
Yeah.
Milk is the new currency.
I actually do think that's funny because then I like the idea of money that can go bad.
I think money should go bad.
I-
I think if money went bad, things would go a lot better, honestly.
Actually, I was at the bank yesterday depositing my Canadian money, and they said that someone held on to like euros for like a super long time. The bank couldn't take them because it was too old. So I guess in a way, in some situations, money can go bad.
Yeah, but it should only go bad if you have over, I don't know, 1 million of them or something like that.
Yes, it should be like
Certainly if you have over 1 billion of them, if anyone would have such a high amount.
right. To put in gamer terms that the gamers can understand. It's like when you have like in games where you can like overheal. That's gonna go away. It's not permanent health. It's not permanent money.
Yeah.
Anything over $1 million is you can have it for a little while, but come the end of the month, we're gonna take all that away from you.
Buy as much
Yeah, you
cocaine
gotta be
as
like
you
the
can.
medic and just overheal other people.
Yes.
So that they can have the money overheal for a short time, but you gotta time out your overheals. You can't waste your overheals on people.
Right. That.
You gotta overheal everybody.
Yeah. So you can still be a billionaire, but just for 1 month. And then
1 month billionaire.
so you've got to like
You gotta take a turn.
you got to keep on spending. You got to. It'll stimulate the. How do I propose a new bill for the U.S. Senate? I have a new.
It helps if you're a billionaire, honestly.
Fuck, it does. How do
Yeah.
I become a lobbyist?
Yeah, you gotta call your House representative and ask, hey, can we have milk?
Dear House
Yeah.
Representative, what if money was milk? Listen, we all remember the meme where the bones was his money. What if the money was milk? It's kind of like that. Anyhow, we're shutting down the show. we're getting off the rails, folks.
We're hitting the abort button. We're hitting the beep, gotta eject.
Yeah, we're getting too far away. Look forward to upcoming games where money is milk, or money is. I am actually like very into that idea of a game mechanic where money is like goes bad, or like potions go bad, like potions expire.
Oh no, there's weevils in the dollars.
Yes.
What are we gonna do?
I made fun of ideas, guys, but an idea I have that I'm TMing this idea, I don't TM. This is Creative Commons. Anyone can use it. I love this idea of
Hell yeah.
a guy who drinks potions because he thinks they taste good. That's it.
Yes.
Just like
this one is raspberry.
right. The idea of someone who like likes the taste of cough medicine or cough drops or whatever. It's like this person just likes the taste of potions, so they'll drink them even when they're full health. That's it. That's a guy for you.
Yes.
Take that guy and do whatever you want with him. That guy also may already exist in something that I'm unfamiliar with, but I like the idea of that as a guy. Anyhow,
That's true.
you know what other kind of guy I like? Guys that end shows, and I'm going to be that guy right now.
Nice.
Hexray, Ali, thank you both for joining me here today.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Glad to have
Like
you
and
on the show.
subscribe.
Glad to have you
Apocalypse.
making games. Glad to get out here and hang out because, hey, what are the odds that we all? I think you say about the shows. What are the odds that all the guests wind up in the same place and they're often very low?
Yeah, about 3. Probably about 3.
Yeah, 3. It's a very low number, but
Yeah.
we can all appear on this very easily. Although next week's show is very intentionally done with a bunch of people who are going to the same event, so ignore that when I say that. I do try to do that. I need to ask about who's going to, because I looked at. Anyhow, I started rambling again. We're shutting it down. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.